Good afternoon, everyone. Myself,
Myself,
Kamal Lata,
Kamalata,
assistant
assistant
teacher
teacher
of
of
Black
Black
Diamond
Diamond
Public
Public
School.
School.
And
And
today's
today's
topic
topic
is
is
post-COVID
post-COVID
schooling.
schooling.
The COVID-19 pandemic has caused abrupt and profound changes around the world. Everyone knows that the COVID-19 pandemic has caused so many problems all around the world. This is the worst shock to education system in decades, with the longest school closure combined with looming recession. It will set back progress made on global development goals, particularly those focused on education. It also affects the education system. The economic crisis within countries and globally will likely lead to fiscal austerity, and COVID-19 increased the rate of poverty and fewer resources available for investments in public services from both domestic expenditure and development aid. All of this will lead to a crisis in human development that continues long after disease transmission has ended, and it totally disturbs our education system. Disturbance to education system over the past year have already driven substantial losses and inequalities in learning. All the efforts that provide the better learning all are disturbed from the COVID-19. All the efforts to provide remote instruction are laudable, but this has been a very poor substitute for in-person learning. Even more concerning, many children, particularly girls, may not return to school even when school reopens. School closures and the resulting disruption to school participation and learning are projected to amount to losses valued at 10 trillion in terms of affected children's futures earning. Schools also play a critical role around the world in ensuring the delivery of essential health services and nutritious meals, protection and psychological support. Thus, school closures have also impeded children's overall well-being and development, not just their learning. It's not enough for school to simply reopen their doors after COVID-19. Students will need tailored and sustained support to help them readjust and catch up after the pandemic. We must help school prepare to provide that support and meet the enormous challenges of the months ahead. The time to act is now. The future of an entire generation is at stake. Due to COVID-19, the future of the entire world is at stake. And the mission of this art to enable all children to return to school and to a supportive learning environment, which also addresses their health and psychological well-being and other needs. And the scope of this art All countries should reopen schools for complete or partial in-person instruction and keep them open. The partners UNESCO, UNICEF and the World Bank will join forces to support countries to take all actions possible to plan, prioritize and ensure that all learners, all students are back in school. The school takes all measures reopen safely, that students receive effective remedial meet and their learning needs. And the priorities of these are how to reopen the school and what are the conditions of that. All children and youth are back in school and receive the tailored service needed to meet their learning, health, psychological, psychosocial well-being and other needs. And some of the challenges are there to reopen the school. And the number one challenges are school closures have put children's learning, nutrition, mental health and overall development at risk. Closed schools also make screening and ready for child protection services. Some students, particularly girls, are at risk of never returning to school due to pandemic. And the areas of actions are the partners will support and design and implementation of school reopening strategies that include comprehensive service to support children's education, health, psychosocial well-being and other needs. All children receive support to catch up on lost learning. And the challenges for those students that receive support are most children have lost substantial instructional time and may not be ready for curricula that were aged and grade appropriate prior to the pandemic. They will require remedial instruction to get back on track. The pandemic also revealed a stark digital divide that school can play a role in addressing by ensuring children have digital skills and access. That means it provided digital learning. And the area of actions are the partners will support the design and implementation of large-scale remedial learning at different level of education. Launch and open access, adaptable learning, assessment tool that measure learning losses and identifies learner needs and support the design, the implementation of digital transformation plans that include components on both infrastructure and way to use digital system. After that, the life after COVID-19. Just wait a minute. Research suggests that many children and young people can find the transition between school unsettling and stressful. The uniform is one size too big. After COVID-19, the life are totally changed. The uniform is one size too big. The shoes need breaking in. The brand new backpack hangs away quietly off a pair of tiny soldiers. There's a brave smile with a missing tooth or two. A final holding of hands, a hug, a kiss, a hesitant wave, and inevitable tears. Lives are totally changed. Before COVID-19 disrupted our lives and forced our kids to open their laptops and learn from home, the first day of school was a rite of passage, the start of a life determining journey that has broadly followed the same shape and rhythm for generations. Current public health crisis, it is likely that many children and young people will experience similar feelings when they return to school. Once social isolation ends, especially those who are vulnerable, have special educational needs, or are moving to a new school. Usual programs of transition may not have taken place, leaving both children, parents, and staff. Many children may have also experienced loss, hardship, safeguarding difficulties. However, there will also be many children who will have had a positive experience being at home and look forward to getting back to normal. The purpose of this presentation is therefore to provide advice on how schools can support their children and young people in managing this transition. From kindergarten to year 12, classrooms are run by teachers who deliver lessons that starts and ends with a bell. Just like a normal day, the classroom runs by a teacher and teacher delivers lesson. The lesson starts by a bell and ends with a bell. But due to pandemic, it was totally changed. They said totally changed because the education system is online. They said, and before that they said teachers said test, watch over examination, and post grades that might delight, disappoint, or even surprise parents. The result is surprising for parents, and sometimes it is disappointing by students. This one-size-fits-all approach to education has been in place for a couple of hundred years now. However, it is undergoing unprecedented change, and not just because of COVID-19. And after move to next slide, that is children who are transitioning to a new school and returning back to school. And it is a document to provide some advice on how to support children who will be transitioning to new school and those returning back to school. It is important to remember that although many children will be returning to their schools, this will be following a long period of absence and will need our support. The psychological models can also be applied to new starter, but it will be beneficial for school to think about how the new term will start for them in terms of. And the response of this coronavirus are the response to the coronavirus has demonstrated how technology can help transform how we teach and learn. It is difficult for teachers and students both, but the push for change started long before the pandemic struck, and it will go on long after the threat subsides. For years, policymakers have been exploring new transformative approaches to get kindergarten to 12 education that go far beyond just online lessons at home. And the first point is rethinking learning. As lockdown is and school is starting to reopen in some places across our region, it's a good a time as any to take stock and look at the likely future of education. Children who start school from now on will grow up to be a worker and leader in a digital first world, and that will demand new skill and new way of thinking. To success in life and at work, they will need all the social, emotional and academic support. They can get it by rich and flexible learning experience. It will be differ vastly from the school days of their parents. It is also vital for parents. In short, education is all three: reading, writing, and arithmetic are being joined by a fourth, that is rethink. Means the education that is reading, writing, and arithmetic all are joined with the rethink. New database technology are opening up ways to transform practices, structures, and even cultures in schools. We teachers have solutions with the potential to transform the system. The question for us now is, how can we use technology to rethink education? And everyone knows that technology has changed the life. Technology has changed many aspects of our society over many years. But school structures have largely stayed the same. Now we have solutions that have the potential to transform and improve the system. So students can achieve more and develop valuable skills with other outcomes. The question for us now is, how can we use technology to rethink education? How to shift how to adapt our technology. Students will be empowered to learn for themselves in flexible, often collaborative ways, both inside and outside classrooms at their own pace. They will be able to follow their own interest and be challenged where appropriate. The real learning is that learning can be hard, and the teachers will have access to individualized real-time data on how well each of their students is progressing scholastically and emotionally, so they can devise new challenges and offer appropriate support for each child to move ahead. Parents will be better connected to and involved with their child's education with certainty, detail and confidence. All are supported to accept the rethinking skills of education. The classroom, as we have known it for centuries, will also be reimagined. When we think about the three big investments that school make, they are constantly thinking about what's happening with instruction in the classroom, and all are totally changed. And just a minute. And students can be empowered to learn for themselves in flexible, often and collaborative ways, both inside and outside classroom at your own place. The classroom was important when we had to broadcast a certain message at a certain time to a certain group of kids. You had to have them in proximity, but this management and teaching model does not have to dominate anymore. In many ways, the classroom has become a physical barrier and just a way of holding onto the past. We are no longer bound by limitations that used to require us to have 30 kids in a classroom with one teacher, and the new education and the new online classes beyond that makes the children's totally different by it is beyond classroom walls. Now we can rethink that model. It can be multiple teachers with multiple kids. They can be places where kids can move around more flexibly. They don't have to do the same thing at the same time in the same way. Schools have been exploring this for some time, and the technology changes the success rate. And it also changed the social and emotional well-being. Personalized learning is a holistic approach that must do more than only focus on academic progress. It will also help teachers stay on top of and adjust to factors that affected social and emotional well-being. Teachers will be able to ensure students feel inspired, safe, valued, and able to learn in ways previously not possible. New learning tools will also be able to adjust to the need of individual students without instruction or intervention from their teacher. It would be like one of those virtual tent teachers turning up the brightness of his screen without bothering to tell the teacher. The smarter the technology gets, the more and teacher is supported and empowered. Behaviors of our students is totally changed, and the behaviors that we may have to accept that are some children will be disengaged with any types of learning and being back in school due to the long period of absence from school. And the some children may feel particularly frustrated about being at home, away from their friends, adults who support them, and missing key experience, exams, from leaving school, trips, etc. For some children and young people, their behavior becomes more challenging that adults find difficult to understand and manage due to fight response, uncertainty, and changes of routine. Because of long term of absence, the routine of everything is changed. Anxiety. Returning to school may result in some children being anxious over leaving parents' home and safety that this offers, and some may be anxious over getting ill themselves. Some are suffering from many types of diseases. For some children, they may have experienced loss and bereavement, which result in them crying, shouting, anger, etc. in response. And anger in relation to a range of feelings. And some children may not experience any of the above and return to school with no difficulty. All types of children are there in school. Some have anxiety, but some have no any types of problem. Speaking to parents, career about how their child has been over isolation will give information. It's never easy moving your child to a different school for elementary school aged children, and the transmission from one school to a new one can be especially trying. The idea of having new teachers, classrooms, and friends can be daunting to even the most outgoing of kids, and it will take purposeful planning on the parents' behalf to ensure that their kids know it's normal to be nervous about heading to a new learning environment. It is not uncommon for students to feel out of place for the first few months of transitioning to new school, especially if they are in a new home environment as well. Kids who experience the stress of moving to a new school may show their discomfort by acting out, withdrawing from school activities, or even changing their diet and sleeping patterns. Changing schools in high school also is not easy. Older kids face a unique set of challenges when changing school, such as coping with greater academic pressure, while adjusting to change. Fortunately, parents and teachers can also help a child settle into a new school, whatever their grade level. And after long break, how to adjust our students in school. Some of the tips for are tips for going to a new school. With this new transition, parents should keep in mind the following tips for moving to a new school. These tips can help a child transition to a new school, whether they are changing school in elementary school or starting a new daycare. Many of these tips can help older kids through a transition as well. Allow your child and yourself to experience the stress. This particular steps seems counterintuitive, but acknowledging the stress that both you as a parents and your children are experiencing makes it that much easier to move beyond it. This is an excellent opportunity for you to sit and talk with your child about what is bothering them, what their fears are, and what can be done to help them feel better about the new surrounding, about the schools and circumstances. And the second points are: cut your child some slack. Children in new educational settings are already overwhelmed with new schedules and teachers, so they do not need extra pressure to perform at home. Listen your children's load when it comes to unnecessary, especially during the first few weeks of a transition. Slowly introduce your children to outside activities, assimilating them to their normal level of activity. And also talk to teachers about your concerns. Almost no one will understand how much stress you and your child are going through more than your child's teacher. Discuss your concern with your child teachers and ask for feedback. You are likely to discover that your teacher has resources to help your child. After all, they have likely helped out numerous others. Talk to fellow parents at the time of parent-teacher association. Talk to other parents who may be in the same boat as you are. Let your child have playtime with you. And keep open communication with our child. Plan a play date. Keep the old routine. And read books together. Read books about transitioning to a new school with your child. A book can offer helpful suggestions for both of you, and it might also encourage your child to ask questions or talk about their feelings. For example, the book's Growing Friendships, a kid's guide to making and keeping friends, by Ilian Kennedy. More is easy for kids to understand and is written to help children ages 6 to 12 transition to a new elementary school. Tour the school. Child might be worried about getting lost in their new school and in back to school. to help them feel more confidence on their first day. See if you can arrange a tour before school starts. Also make sure your child knows where they will be picked up and dropped off every day to help their nerves. Prioritize sleep. Transferring to a new school is a stressful time, and your child may be struggling to get the sleep they need. Children ages 6 to 13 need 9 to 11 hours of sleep every night. Adequate sleep will help your child cope with anxiety in a healthy way and process new experience. So, help your child get the sleep they need. Limit screen time before bed. Follow a bedtime routine and keep them from doing anything too exciting before bed. And the condition of the students are they are anger after long because they are coming after long time absence, fear, frustration, confusion, hurt, sadness, guilt, they become shy, embarrassment, depression, and so many causes. Rejection, loneliness. These are the effects of students after coming back to school. Next. And some of the approaches are nurturing school approaches, resilience, psychological care, mindfulness, emotion coaching, attachment, growth mindset, pace model, and positive relationship. And also some of the contents of these are lying, deficiency, too much screen time, food related problems, disrespectful behaviors. There are three main reasons kids lie: to get attention, to avoid getting in trouble, and to feel better about themselves. Distinguishing the reason for the lie will help you determine the best course of action. When and the defiance, whether your child ignores you when you tell them to pick up their toys or say no when you tell them to stop banging a toy on the floor. Defiance is difficult behavior to address, but it's not normal for kids to test limit. Is a result of COVID-19 pandemic. Some children may have experienced further trauma. The impact of the trauma often depends upon the severity and timing. Children whose caregivers respond sensitively and appropriately to the child's needs at times of distress and fear are thought to develop secure attachment to their caregivers. They are thought to have better outcome than non-severely attached children. We know that the transition can prove to be difficult even when children have secure and stable background. Reinforcing the needs to use attachment informed principles universally for all students. Additionally, the uncertainty of the coronavirus and the impact that has had such a routine being disturbed and or family members being ill may cause anxiety for children upon their return to school. It is important that relationships with staff are re-established for all children. The school setting as well as the adults that care for children and young people need to be safe and secure places in order for them to be emotionally able and ready to learn. And the diagram of adjustment, this diagram, attachment, not adjustment, sorry. This diagram demonstrates the importance of school being a safe base and how this can be achieved. Children's need experience of being and feeling can believe that they are lovable and are loved, that others want to connect and interact with them, then others are interested in them and their thoughts, ideas, that they can be curious and make mistakes, that they are safe and that they can trust others to meet their needs, helping the child to trust. Just a minute. First one is ability, helping the child to trust. Everyone know that trust is the foundation of every relationship. If you trust the people at school, you can be open and honest with your thoughts and actions. Put time aside to discuss issues and let everyone have opportunities to speak. If there is a conflict, give time and support for the people involved to resolve it. The concept of trust is complicated one. It can take years to build, moments to settle, and the presence or absence of it strongly affect a person's happiness in life. To trust more is to worry less, and to worry less usually means to less anxious and less quiet into a note. And after that, sensitivity, helping the child to manage feelings and behaviors. Acceptance, building the child's self-esteem. It is one of the attachment after back to school. Acceptance, building the child's self-esteem. Cooperation, helping the child to feel effective and be cooperative. And family membership, helping the child to belong. And after that, next slide is
Next slide is
nurture.
nurture.
And many staffs will have heard of Marjoria Boxer's intervention, nurture groups. However, many of the key principles can be implemented within the classroom. There are six main principles of nurture. The number one is learning is understand developmentally. In this principle, we will exploring the first principle. In this principle, children's learning is understood developmentally. The key theme of this principle is that everyone learns at a different pace and in a different way. We need to accept children as they are rather than expecting them to fit into your expectation. And all learning is understood developmentally. Under this, play, fun, and laughter are important. Learning activities should help us connect socially, consider attachment needs, revisit and also consolidate previous learning, assessment, and intervention. Reconnecting with learning should not be threatening or overwhelming. Children and young people will have had different experience during lockdown. We should offer activities that are motivating and enjoyable. This should be designed to help children and young people recognize and appreciate their personal strength. Play and games are the obvious choices as a way of reconnecting with learning and having some fun. The classroom and the second principle are the classroom offers a safe base. That means creating a safe learning environment in the classroom. Children feel better about learning and excel when they feel like they are in a safe, secure classroom environment. And they learn the importance of creating a learning environment in which children feel safe physically, emotionally, and socially, and explore what to do when things go wrong. That's it. And the importance of nurture for the development of well-being. The importance of nurture for the development of well-being, that means looking after ourselves and other people makes us feel good in mind and body. Just a minute. One way of doing sorry for disturbance. Looking after ourselves and other people make us feel good in mind and body. One way of doing this is showing kindness. When we are kind to other people, it makes them feel happy. It is good for your health too. And the next principle is language is a vital means of communication because it helps children and young people put their feelings into words. Everyone knows that communication is the process of exchanging of ideas, facts, and it also helps in give them way of asking for help. Help them to manage their emotions. Think carefully about your own words and actions. Be prepared to talk about bereavement, loss, and grief. Encourage children and young people to tune into their thoughts and feelings. Teach them the vocabulary of emotion. Support them to match the way they are feeling with the related vocabularies. Invite them to discuss situations that have led to specific behaviors. And the whole behavior is communication. The importance of transition in the lives of children and young people. And nurturing approach recognizes that positive relationships are central to both learning and well-being. A key aspect of a nurturing approach is an understanding of attachment theory and how early experiencing can have a significant impact on development. After that, resilience. Resilience is the ability to bounce back from adversity. The ability to become strong, healthy, or successful again after something bad happened. The rescue workers showed remarkable resilience in dealing with the difficult conditions. The ability of something to return to his original shape after it has been pulled, stretched, pressed, bent, etc. Resilience is not a personality trait. Instead, characteristics play a part, but resilience is something that can be promoted and developed through the provision of support and opportunities for growth. And after that, the resiliency framework. And bases are there, belongings are there, learning, coping, and core selves are there. And one more principle is mindfulness. Just a minute. The resilience framework summarizes a set of ideas and practices that promote resilience. It is based on a body of research and practice development called resilient therapy. And 7 C's of resilience are competence, concrete, connection, character, contribution, coping, and control. These are the 7 C's of resilience. After the next topic is mindfulness. Mindfulness is the quality of being present and fully engaged with whatever we are doing at the moments, free of distraction or judgment, and aware of thoughts and feelings. It helps children and young people to regulate their emotions and focus their attention as well as developing their resilience. Furthermore, it can open a channel of discussion with adults or discussing any thoughts, worries and concerns. Next is emotion coaching. Emotion coaching is an evidence-based strategy based upon the work of John Gottman. Emotion coaching uses moments of heightened emotion and resulting behavior to guide and teach the child and young person about more effective responses. And the emotion coaching involves teaching children about the world of emotion in the moment, giving children strategies to deal with ups and downs, accepting all emotions as normal, seeing undesired behavioral response as opportunity for teaching, building trusting and respectful relationship. Research and psychological care. Research has identified 5 key principles that key recovery, that is a sense of safety, a sense of calm, a sense of self and collective efficacy, social connectedness, promoting hope, and the peace model. Peace can be used by an adult to validate, explore and understand children's feelings. PACE stands for playfulness, acceptance, curiosity and empathy. A PACE is a way of thinking, feeling, communicating and behaving that aim to make children and young people feel safe. It is particularly effective in meeting the needs of children and young people who have experienced trauma. And PACE is important because PACE focuses on the whole child, not simply the behavior. It helps children be more secure with adults and reflect upon themselves, their thoughts, feelings and behavior. And the playfulness. This is about creating a fun, light and playful atmosphere where communicating with the child, it means tone of voice like you might do when storytelling rather than an irritated or lecturing tone. Acceptance. This is about accepting that whatever the child are feeling right now is okay. You are accepting their thoughts, feelings and perception without judgment. Curiosity. This is about approaching children with an air of curiosity. Empathy. Empathy is about putting yourself in someone else's shoes and allowing yourself to feel what they must be feeling. It gives us a sense of compassion for the child and their feelings. After next, growth mindset. A growth mindset refers to the belief that abilities and knowledge are not fixed and that are with effort, experience and support we can achieve growth. In contrast, those who have a fixed mindset are of the few that their qualities are carved in stone and are unchangeable. And this is the growth mindset. Talent and intelligence can be developed over time and with efforts. And the final thoughts are, before the final thoughts, I would like to share what are the problems that students are most likely to face once the school reopens. Unprecedented times and circumstances due to the novel COVID-19 pandemic led to all schools being non-operational and physically shut for 2 years. While schools have done their best to make sure learning is not disturbed and students get access to top quality education in the form of online resources and excellent. And these are the problems. Number one is challenge of maintaining safety precaution. Even once schools are operational, the challenge of maintaining social distance at all times, taking care of personal hygiene, hand washing, wearing masks, talking and sitting in classroom at a 5 feet distance, lost practice of writing is also one of the drawbacks. That is, students have been used to appearing for exams online and have often resorted to technology devices to appear for tests and complete their assignment due to COVID-19, loss of interest and motivation, mental health deteriorating, lack of social interaction and fear of alienation. And these are the challenges. And how can we prevent the challenges in school posted by COVID-19? Inculcating the habit of handwriting, exercising daily, following a balanced and healthy design, talking to school counselor and being in touch with teachers and friends, taking the vaccine and maintaining social distancing at home, staying in touch with social circles in schools, from part of school club, productively using time by signing up for activities and courses online, developing new skills and thank you.
ओके ना ऐसे देखना है ना कि कौन कौन खेल रहा है बताना बोले कि क्या है। एस्केप का जरूरत नहीं है, किसी के भी दबाना है। देखिए यहाँ पे डाल है।